Alright everybody, how you doing? Comment here. It is that time of year again. We're going to do some A to Z stuff. Today we're going to check out Garrosh. Garrosh is just released a couple days ago. He is a main tank, solo tank. He's actually the first, I think, the first main, like, real legitimate solo tank that's been released in quite some time. Maybe since Johanna. I mean, there have been some warriors since then. You've got your Zaryas, you've got your Divas from the Overwatch system, but neither of them are really like legitimate, you know, tried and true solo tanks with a lot of peel. Garrosh changes that. So what makes him interesting? Let's take a look. I find that he's kind of challenging to play. Some of his abilities take a little bit of practice to get used to, but he brings a lot of displacement and disruption to the enemy team. Let's start off and talk about. You notice 4,300 health. Actually, not a lot, all things considered. I think he starts at level 1 at under 2k health, which is on the low end straight away for a tank, for someone who might be a warrior. But what changes that is his trait. So you get your icon over here. So it's the same thing. You gain 1 armor for every 2% of your maximum health missing, and this is just straight up armor. This is not just spelled or physical armor, straight up armor. So if I go over here and say hello to these lovely ogres, probably should have gone to the bruiser camp, but that's fine. You'll see that as I take damage, this number goes up. You get the little UI icon over here, which is brand new, which is kind of nifty, and this goes up. And as I take more and more damage, my armor will go up, and I will take, in theory, less and less damage for each individual hit. So what this means, obviously, as you take more damage, you, in theory, become much more survivable. I think this will go up to a maximum of, I guess, 49 armor by default. I guess 50, maybe if you have 1 health, you'll have 50 armor. I'm not actually sure. I don't think I've ever been that low, but you'll be dead at that point anyway. But what this means, it makes him very survivable when he gets to low health. He's a lot stronger than he seems. So even though he has on the low health side, his effective health is much higher than it seems to be. What this also means is he's very strong against slow, sustained damage. I mean, you get somebody like Tracer, even though she attacks very quickly, each individual attack is in quick succession. It's more of a sustained attack, like Diva, that kind of thing. Whereas, because as each hit ticks, it lowers your health and therefore raises your armor. So each subsequent hit will be, be mitigated by more and more and more. Whereas somebody like, let's say, Chromie, who's all about the burst, she can, chunk you and hit you for 1,000 in one shot, and that's straight away right off the top 1,000, and you go halfway down, and none of that is mitigated at all. So he's vulnerable to burst, to high damage all in quick succession, and he's vulnerable to range. We'll talk about why that is, and he kind of lacks some mobility. But he does have lots of displacement abilities and things that can disrupt the enemy team. He's got quite an interesting kit in terms of talents. So let's take a look at that and see what we got. So his first ability is Q. I'm going to toggle cooldown straight away. First ability is Q. It's called Groundbreaker. It looks something like this. So you see you got 2 things in the target UI here. What it does, it hits enemies and does some damage. But if you can land them in that outer part, which apparently I can't do because I can't target it right, there you go, it will pull enemies towards you. And it's not just one, whoever is in that, it only works in heroes, it doesn't work on minions or mercenaries or anything like that, only heroes. Thank you very much. And you get a little bit of leeway with it, so you don't have to land it exactly. You see there, he was just quite on the very edge. It's sort of like a targeted, if you remember Cho'Gall's upheaval, except only on that very tip is where they will pull them in. If you're inside it, it'll just do damage in an area. 8-second cooldown on this, but this will just chuck anyone toward you. So it's great for just picking them up, and then you can combo that with your E ability, and we'll talk about that in a second. But first off, we'll get to the W, which is Bloodthirst, 12-second cooldown. It deals a chunk of damage, and it heals you for 10% of your missing health. And healing is increased by 100% against heroes. So right now, I'm missing not quite half my health, but bam. You saw I got a nice big chunk coming in right there. And as each subsequent hit is less health restored. So I mean, you can use this early on. It does have a 12-second cooldown, so it is kind of lengthy. But later, this is great in one-on-one battles. You're going to want to, use this toward the end when you're low on health. You'll get a nice chunk of health back. There are some talents that you can do to cast this more frequently, depending on how you want to do it. We'll talk about that as well. Then we get to the E. The E is the fun ability. The E is the one that everyone's talking about, and this is Wrecking Ball, where you can literally throw things. So here we go. Throw a nearby enemy, hero, minion, or mercenary to a target location. It deals damage to enemies near the impact, including the thing that you throw, and it slows them by 30% for 2.5 seconds. So you notice when I target it, I get 2 circles here. Actually 3 circles. This one, I get my targeting circle, of course. The outer circle is where I want to chuck them, and the inner circle is where the enemy needs to be in order for me to actually grab them. Now here's the thing, you can't target this ability. So you can see who you're going to throw. Let me see if I can stand back. You can see who you're going to throw, if I stop attacking here, by this little red horde icon. It's going to grab the closest thing towards you. So let me refresh the forts here. I'm going to run into the minions, actually. You'll see how this looks real fast. I can literally just chuck them. Like, have fun. Go over there. Watch what happens when I get into the minions. Now suddenly, as I walk through them, like maybe I want to grab Arthas, but if I'm standing here, I'm really just going to grab the minion instead, and I've got to rotate to get Arthas in range before I can toss him. As you might imagine, this gives you a lot of options. You can do fun stuff like this. Maybe I should actually hit him. Maybe I should actually hit him. You can do fun stuff like that, and then, you know, target Arthas over. If anybody gets too close, you can kind of pull them over and then chuck them over your walls, and then that's kind of a dead zone for them. You can throw them into the enemy. You know, if I had more enemies here. You see it does damage where he lands, so not only can you toss people behind you where they're in danger because they're out of position, but you can throw them like into each other to kind of secure a kill or to slow them down or anything like that. I find that it is a little clunky to use. It does take some practice to get used to. You are going to want to get used to that horde symbol is only going to appear when you're within range. Like right now, I can't actually do it. Right now, can't actually do it. As soon as I take a step closer, there you go. Now I can make it happen. The one thing I did notice, and I don't know if this is a bug or if this is intended, if you go to pull somebody and then right at the last minute they kind of step out of range or dash out of range, it'll miss and it'll blow the cooldown. So it does take some practice. You got to get used to it, but it does give you a large amount of displacement potential. There are a lot of things you can do with. You can throw enemies away to save your team. You can throw them into your team to kind of set up kills. A lot of utilities for that ability. Plus, it's a lot of fun. Let's be honest. Let's take a peek at his ult real fast. You notice just randomly picking things. He's got a lot of other abilities that we can choose, and we'll talk about that after we do the ults. There is definitely a piano Garrosh version that you can go through and play. First off, Warlord's Challenge. 50-second cooldown, take that back, 50-second cooldown, silence nearby heroes, and force them to attack Garrosh for 1.5 seconds. This is an AoE taunt. It's variant taunt on steroids. Couple things, there you go. You see, you can tell when you're in range, even though it's showing the range, it's about the same range for your Wrecking Ball. Actually, it's a little bit further, so if you do see the Horde icon, you know you're within range. It is AoE. There are a couple of things to keep in mind about this. One, it is relatively short range, so it is possible to, to kind of blow it and miss your cooldown, and then nobody gets done. But unlike the variant taunt, it does silence enemy heroes. I don't believe the variant taunt actually silences them. I think they can still cast. This one will silence everybody in a complete AoE. So this is really great if you have if you've got a team that can follow up on this, or you want to keep somebody in place to kind of fire off a skill shot, somebody like Kael'thas, somebody like Chromie, anything like that. It's really powerful. Actually, the level 20 upgrade is very strong as well. We'll get to that. It increases the duration to 2 seconds. Also, if an enemy is killed while affected, it reduces the cooldown to 45 seconds. Which means if you kill, at level 20, if you take this, you kill somebody who's affected by it, it damn near resets the cooldown. It drops the cooldown down to 5 seconds. So a lot of AoE kind of displacement ability and CC that potential that you have with Warlord's Challenge. Alternatively,
choose a talent.
You go Decimate. Decimate. Deal 119 damage to nearby enemies and slow them by 30% for 1.5 seconds. It's an AoE, as you can see here. It deals 100% more damage to heroes, and each hero hit reduces the cooldown by 1 second. So this is why this is strong. You see, I've got, doesn't seem like much, but that's almost, 700 damage in quick succession. So now you have 3 charges, and each charge is only 8 seconds long. So you're not often going to be without Decimate if you're using it wisely. It kind of recharges very quickly on its own. If you're in a group of heroes and you swing your axe, not only does it slow them down, but say you hit 3 heroes, there's 3 seconds right off the top of the next charge. It's quite possible that you'll be able to get 4 or maybe 5 of these off within a team fight. You know, no one's the wiser. The upgrade for this, also very strong. Deadly Calm. Heroes hit by Decimate deal 20% less damage for 3 seconds. So you could potentially get in the middle of things, hit your Decimate, and just chunk the enemy's damage 20% off the top, and you can keep that going for quite a while. For 3 seconds, you hit it again, another 3 seconds, you hit it again, another 3 seconds. At that point, you've got at least 1 charge back up, probably 2 if you're hitting a number of heroes because of the cooldown reduction. So this is CC in a slightly different way, and at 20 it does provide some good damage mitigation for your entire team. So, that being said, let's take a quick look through some of the talents before we hop into the game, because we probably have a bit of a queue in front of us. He's got a number of very interesting talents that you can kind of build them out in a couple of different ways.
Choose a talent.
Level 1, standard quest ability, quest talent Wordbreaker, pull heroes with Groundbreaker. After 5 heroes, it deals some additional damage. It's not bad, nothing to write home about. The real key here is you get 15 of these, you reduce the cooldown to 3 seconds, which means this will make this a 5-second cooldown, which is really good. We've got Unrivaled Strength, increase Wrecking Ball's throw range by 20% and its damage by 100%. The damage is okay, the damage isn't, again, anything you're looking forward to, but this is the range by default.
Choose a talent.
This is the extra range. You do get a little bit of extra oomph in that.
Now you die.
And there's the damage. That's 400 damage there at level 22, so it's not inconsequential. Lastly, here's an interesting one. This one you get at level 1 here, called Body Check. Not only is it essentially an extra ability, but there are upgrades to this throughout the talent tree. Let's look at 7. Like, here's one for that. At 20, there's an upgrade for it. So you could potentially take this at level 1, and there are other talents that upgrade this. And if you don't take it, those talents are just grayed out. You can't take them, which makes it, I think, very interesting. It's an interesting design choice that I don't think has been done with any other heroes just yet. That being said, let's look at Body Check. You can activate it. It deals no mana. I don't know why Garrosh has mana, just as an aside. He's a warrior, but that's just me. Nevertheless, this ability deals 263 damage to a target. Kind of short range, kind of melee range, but you kind of just, kind of check him with your shoulder. It slows him down by 30% for 2 seconds. The damage is increased by the amount of armor up.
Victory or death.
200% of armor up's current bonus. So let's go smack these guys again, and we'll take some damage here. Okay, you saw that did 296 damage. Now as I do more, alright, now it does 326. That did 339. You get the gist there. Essentially, the lower health that you have, the more this is gonna oomph. Also, the slow amount is increased by 30% if armor up's bonus is above 25%. And you'll actually get an indicator if I go smack this boss around. Alright, 23. I don't want to get stunned. There you go. You see it glows now. Now that I'm up over 25%, this is actually going to glow. You see, it actually does quite a bit of damage when you get low. 20 seconds is not so bad, and it's free. It's basically free damage, and it's got some CC attached to it, which makes it pretty interesting. At level 4, we have In for the Kill. Increase Bloodthirst's damage against non-heroes by 60%, so against minions, mercs, whatever. Killing enemies with any enemies. This counts minions, mercenaries, heroes as well. Resets the cooldown and refunds its mana cost. So this is interesting. So Garrosh doesn't have a whole lot of wave clear. Wave clear is one of his weaknesses. He really doesn't do a whole lot of damage straight away. He gets some AoE damage in Groundbreaker, but Groundbreaker is really more suited to kind of save, especially in a fight, to pull enemies around. This gives him, I won't say it gives him a lot of wave clear, but it does give him some single target, like in lane sustain, where if you chunk a minion, you pick it off, and then you can do the same thing across the board. Heal yourself back up and kind of take the minions down. What I've been playing, I've been taking this a bunch on things like Garden of Terror, when you can use this on the seedlings, or even in Haunted Mines, where you can kind of use this on the skeletons. In the mines, you kill them with In for the Kill, you get your health back, it resets the cooldown, and you kind of go down the line. Alternatively, here's a really good one as well. Thirst for Battle. Basic attacks against heroes reduce the cooldown of Bloodthirst by 2 seconds. 12-second cooldown to start with. You can kind of, if you're fighting a hero one-on-one, you can kind of use this, keep yourself, sustained up with Bloodthirst, and this is going to keep that running. Also, another really good talent at level 4. He's got a lot of interesting choices. Indomitable, 40-second cooldown. It's essentially a self-cleanse. Activate to become unstoppable for 1.5 seconds. Obviously, you can't take it if you're already stunned, but you can certainly take it if you see a stun coming. If you're slowed, you can use it. A lot of interesting abilities, uses for this. You know, I've used this up against, playing against a Butcher. I see Butcher charging me. I can toggle Indomitable. He basically bounces off me because I don't get stunned, and then I can chuck him into my team, and then that's kind of a dead Butcher. So yeah, that's fun to do. Level 7, Intimidation. Groundbreaker reduces attack speed by heroes hit by 40% for 4 seconds. Great against the AA guys. Here's an upgrade to your body check. Brute Force. Enemies hit by body check receive 50% reduced healing by 4 seconds. This is really good. Also, it's at level 7. Think about this. Most of the healing reduction abilities that people get these days are going to be later in the tree. Varian gets the one. I think it's at 13. Zul's is, I don't know where it is. It's 20 now. I forgot where exactly it was, but it's later in the tree. It's post ult. It's past level 10. This one's at level 4 or level 7, excuse me. And it lasts for 4 seconds. And this is being a 20-second cooldown, so this is pretty nifty. We have Oppressor. Basic attacks against heroes reduce the spell power by 40%. And then here's the one that I usually end up taking because it's also really fun. Into the Fray. This is where you get to throw. It's actually a shorter range. This is where you get to throw an ally. So now here is a blue horde icon, and I can go like that. Basically same rules apply. Activate to throw a nearby ally and grant them 25 armor for 3 seconds. It deals some damage to nearby enemies, slows them down by 30% for 2.5 seconds. While they're in the air, the allied hero is unstoppable. So same rules apply. It's going to chuck the closest ally to you. So if I'm in the minion wave, you got to make sure you position yourself correctly to get the right minion. That's kind of important. There are, again, a couple of other utilities for this. You can throw a hero closer to the enemy to kind of catch up. If somebody's fleeing and somebody is just out of range, you can kind of chuck them over there to get him within range. If an enemy is in peril, you can kind of walk up to him, and I'm not mounted, and be like, oh, Malf, you're in trouble. I'm going to throw the dummy instead. But you get the idea. Hey, this guy's got low health. I'm going to throw him out of the way. Not only does it get him out of harm's way, but it gives them, armor to boot. So, good for them. So you get a couple of these. It's also on its own. It's a 30-second cooldown. It's on its own independent timer. If I toggle cooldowns off, you'll see. Own independent timer compared to Wrecking Ball. So you can do one or the other. You can do both. It doesn't matter. It's not like Helping Hand for Stitches, where if you use Helping Hand, you kind of use everything. You can use both of these separately.
Choose a talent.
All right, at 13, defensive measures. Pulling a hero in with Groundbreaker.
Choose a talent.
Grants them a shield. Here's why this is fun. Here's why this is really good. It's actually a really big shield. I'm at level 23 here, but at level 20, it's something like a 600 and something point shield, which is pretty big. It lasts for 6 seconds. If you combo that with the quest ability at level 1, if you've completed the quest, that's on a 5-second cooldown. This shield lasts for 6 seconds, so if your shield doesn't break and you can consistently land the pull, you could in theory just be shielded forever. So that's something to consider with Garrosh. As long as you can land it consistently, which in the heat of a battle isn't always the easiest thing to do, as you see right there. I'm just kind of out of range, but you get the idea. Blood Craze. Hitting a hero, Bloodthirst heals you for an additional 10% of his maximum health, not his missing health, his maximum health, over 3 seconds. So that's some just straight up consistent sustain that you get. Also, for an extra, this is another activated ability here, which actually takes over your trait. It's Double Up. Armor Up can be activated to increase its armor bonus by 3 seconds, by 100% by 3 seconds. Why this is interesting is there are a number of abilities that get bonuses based on the amount of armor that you have. This will help it out because this will double the amount that you have, and it will trigger those abilities or give you the bonus damage. So, for example, Body Check, the damage is increased by 200% of Armor Up's current bonus. You double it up, you just get extra damage and extra bonus on top of that, and it will. You get the slow increase if your armor is above 25%. Well, if your armor is at 17%, or armor, not even percent, just 25, if your armor is at 17, you hit Double Up, you're now over 25, and that will take into play. So it's interesting. You can't get higher than 75. 75 is still the theoretical maximum that you're able to get. So if you're, at the end of it, if you're at 45 armor and you'd use Double Up, you're only going to be at 75, but still 75 is really good, and that's a lot of mitigation. 40-second cooldown on this, though, so you do have to pay attention to when you're going to want to use it. Level 16, Rough Landing. Heroes pulled by Groundbreaker are slowed by 30% for 3 seconds. So if you grab somebody, they're immediately just slowed straight away, which is pretty nice. Mortal Combo. If Wrecking Ball is used on a hero within 2 seconds of pulling them, Wrecking Ball's cooldown is reduced by 10 seconds. 16-second cooldown, so essentially you just Groundbreaker, and you chuck them, and then this will be ready to go in 6 more seconds. Earthshaker is one that I've been taking a lot. Wrecking Ball will stun enemies near the impact area for 0.75 seconds. This applies not only to the enemy that you throw, but all the enemies that are near the impact point. So what you can do in the middle of a team fight, even if you don't need the displacement far away, you can kind of chuck an enemy straight up into the air into his team, which will stun him and everyone around him and give your team some room to kind of do what they need to do best.
Choose a talent.
Level 20, we've already talked about the 2 upgrades to the ults. Titanic Might, Wrecking Ball can throw the 2 closest enemies. I normally don't take that one. I've been taking the upgrade to the ult a lot, but also this Inner Rage is really good as well. Body check gains an additional charge already, 20-second cooldown, so now you get 2 charges for that. Its cooldown recharges 100% faster, while Armor Up bonus is at or above 25. Again, this is affected by Double Up if you take it, so something to consider. So that's kind of Garrosh in a nutshell. I know we spent some time talking about it. He's a little difficult to get used to, but he can be very, very strong in terms of his displacement. You're going to need a team that is coordinated. He doesn't do a whole ton of damage himself. Like, he really isn't somebody who's just going to run in and just wreck the enemy team. He's really just all about pulling people, getting them out of position, putting them in bad spots, and or saving your team from being in a bad spot. He lacks mobility. He has no mobility whatsoever. Like, his only ability, if he's gets pulled into a group, or if he's, you know, somewhere in a bad spot, the only thing he can really do is throw the enemy somewhere else and then hope he can get away. Maybe, you know, use some of his defensive capabilities, but he has no mobility whatsoever. So you got to be aware of that. Ranged is troublesome for him. Somebody like Chromie will just eat his face alive because he can't get in range of them. Genji can give him some problems. You know, anybody with super long range, anybody who, if you missed your Groundbreaker, you got 8 seconds before you can use it again. That puts you in a tough spot. So you do have to be careful about your cooldowns. If you play the piano Garrosh variant, there's a lot of abilities that you've got to be careful about. You got to know, you know, what keys they're all on, stuff like that. Anyway, you get the idea. Let's hop into a game. We'll see what we can do. Hopefully the queue won't be too long. If it is, I'll just edit that out because that's fun to do too. I find he's sort of like Stitches, but better in the CC department, where you really need your team to follow up a bit. And by that I mean, you know, if you hook somebody with Stitches and they just walk away, well, that's kind of useless. And the same thing with Garrosh. If you chuck somebody behind you and they just walk back, it doesn't make a difference. I think he's going to be a higher skill cap character, where if somebody's really, really good, he's going to make a very strong impact. And if he's not very good, he'll probably just kind of whittle himself away and die. I do like the trade ability, where there have been a lot of fights that I've had already where I've been relatively low health and I haven't been too concerned about having to go back to Hearth or tap the well or anything like that. I know that between Bloodthirst and the armor, I still have a lot of self-sustain and mitigation and ability to kind of keep myself in the fight, even at very, very low health. Alright, go Gadget Q. Well, you know what I don't like about Garrosh? His lack of skins. He really has 2 skin variants. He's got Garrosh, and then he's got like this Mad Max version of Garrosh. I was hoping there would be a more master skin-ish type of thing, maybe in later patches. I was sort of disappointed about that. I was hoping for just this, but bigger shoulder pads? I don't know. Maybe something like that. I have no idea. Also, they do have Garrosh as an announcer now, and I did pick that up, so we're going to listen to Garrosh as we play as Garrosh. Alright. We'll just edit this out, that's fine. We'll fix it in post, as they say. There we go. Okay, fantastic. Let's see what we got. One change they made for Quickmatch, and hopefully I'm not a liar as I start to say this. There we go. Good. They made a change where it's going to shy away from mirror matches, which means there's, even though Garrosh is new and he's popular, I'm the only Garrosh in the game, which is pretty nice. We also have the new Butcher on our team, which is great. Chromie can be fun, Rainer and Murky, so an interesting composition on our side. They've got a lot of beef. Artanis, Arthas, Diva, they're going to be hard to take down. Li Ming is going to give me personally some trouble with range. The Zebo could be hit or miss. If I get stuck in his zombie wall, I'm pretty much a dead orc. But we do have lots of damage between these guys. Hopefully Rainer can kind of work on the warriors. If I can pull Diva's mech, her mech will give 25 meat to the Butcher, which will be nice. So these guys are in a group and these guys are all solo. We'll see how this plays out. It's on Tomb of the Spider Queen as well. Tomb of the Spider Queen might not be a great matchup for Garrosh, only for the throw. Lots of minions with the spider minions and stuff. It's tough to get everyone in the right place. My fear, just based off the matchup, is that their sustain and their health will outrange ours. But we'll see. I'm going to start off. I'm going to take Warbreaker to start. I'm hoping, since we got some 3 warriors here, I'm hoping I'll be able to land this frequently enough to level it up. Less for the damage and more for the cooldown reduction. I think that's the plan I'm going to go. I'm going to go down the Warbreaker path. Level 4, I'll probably go in for the kill. I might go Thirst for Battle, I'm not sure yet.
10 seconds. 5.
Butcher took block at level 1.
3, 2, 1.
Not a terrible plan. Diva will shred through that pretty quickly. But that it is. So it looks like Rainer's gonna go bottom. We got 4 people here. What I would love is to bait somebody and do something like that. And that's just damage. There you go. And that right there, straight away. Now that didn't count as a hero pull. That definitely didn't count as a hero pull. Either I missed and she just came toward me, or the Diva's mech is bugged, which would not surprise me at all, because that's what happens.
Bring the gems of power to my altar.
That was a bad throw. I'm going to be in some trouble here. That's a good kill. There we go, there's 2. Hopefully, I'm going to get killed. Everybody's dead. Alright. Well, that's a thing that happened. Oh, Chromie. If you had bronze talons, that would have been money. She's gonna be in some trouble. She gets away. Alright, good job. That's fine. That's not the worst thing in the world. I don't want to see. I would love to pick up Artanis and throw him. I don't want to throw Artanis. Oh, I misplayed that totally. That is my bad on that. I will take credit for. Alrighty, I'm taking lots of damage. Nobody is on bottom. I'm gonna go bottom and see what we can do. Got 4 on this already. I would love to get 1 more. I would love somebody else to. There you go. If I had Wrecking Ball, I could have tossed her into the turrets, to my cannons. Unfortunately, it wasn't ready. So you go. See, if I miss that, now I'm really in a tough spot. So I do want to make sure that I land those. Yep, that's not so great. There you go, just like that. And now you're dead. So that's what you got to be careful for with Garrosh. Never want to be next to him. Never want to be next to him. I'm going to go in for the kill. I'm just going to go like this. Lots of minions for me to feast on.
I claim your life.
Let's see what we can do. We go up here.
Enough of you.
Come on, Chromie. Now. Oh, I messed it up. I missed it. Should have been able to hit her.
A clean kill.
Oh, thank you. You see, I gotta whack the minion once, hit it with Bloodthirst. I'm gonna hang out here and get the XP, and then I'm gonna watch out. Come on, Arthas, you want to go into the towers again? That was fun, wasn't it? No, stay in the tower. You know you lied here. Alright, do have to be careful. Oh, an extra step probably would have gotten that.
I lead from the front. Let the battle begin.
Alright, let's see. I'll grab this. See if you can turn him. We got lots of stuff going on in the middle. I'm going to turn in while I can. Oh, I missed the pull, unfortunately.
That hero was weak.
We're going to take into the fray. We're going to toss.
Double kill. Triple kill.
Good job, Chromie. Chromie's killing it. I like that.
Wait. Wasn't that supposed to be a tough one?
Know your place. Kill spree.
She's going to get away. Yep.
Now I'll show them.
Die.
I'm going to run because I have no mana.
Glory. I'm tired of this battle.
So one thing about Garrosh that I wasn't a fan of, like, don't necessarily need the mana. But we're ahead in XP, although we're not doing the best job at soaking. I guess part of that is the fact that we have all of the kills.
I smell the winds of war.
Murky goes down. Again, everyone, huge fight in the middle. I really would like them to just... I'm going to turn in. We need 4 to turn in. I have 5. Let's cash in, and then whatever. Alright, there we go.
Our strength is unrivaled.
Alright, still only 9 on the Groundbreaker. Hey, gang! Oh, didn't quite get him over the wall.
Hero slaughtered. Weakling. Lead from the front.
Oh. That's a dead Arthas. It should be a dead Arthas. There we go.
Always the answer.
Good so far.
Will destroy you. Know your place.
Nope, you stay.
That hero
Good.
was weak.
And that's a dead Artanis. That's how you do it. You just pull him in there, you get him into range.
Pick a talent.
I'm gonna go Decimate. I don't think we need the taunt. You can get smacked around a bit. And that's gonna be a dead Zebo. Chromie's gonna be in some trouble.
Makes right. An enemy fort has been smashed.
My weapons have fallen.
Oh, that was a minion.
Gems to be spared.
Gonna need 2 more.
Metal spears.
Oh, that's not great. I'm dead. That's my fault. Tried to go in and save Raynor. Got myself picked up. There's a lack of mobility that you see with Garrosh, where if he gets caught, you really don't have much recourse other than to do as much damage as you really possibly could. I couldn't get into range to displace them with Groundbreaker, so I just wanted to use Decimate. I was trying to get close to the wall to toss one of them over the wall into the towers. Didn't quite make it. As it is, we're up a level. Butcher's gonna get a kill. He does not have his quest done yet. The Gazebo goes down. Artanis. Whoop. Pick up those gems. Nope. We're gonna lose that. Oh, I missed her. Jesus Christ, I'm bad. There we go. Good job. Poor Murky. Let's tag this. Still only 13 on the Groundbreaker quest because I can't aim for frig all.
Choose a talent. Forward.
Boom. There you go, group hug.
Hell yeah.
Alright, Butcher's got his quest complete.
That hero was weak. I claim your double kill.
Nice.
I lead from the front.
I am gonna Hearth for that.
Tired of this battle.
Actually, no. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna go up here,
Killing spree.
soak some of this XP, and see if I can just get some sustain, just like that, off these guys. There you go. Suddenly I'm back at half health.
Oh, I need to be somewhere else.
Come on, Arthas.
Double kill.
You get out of there. You're dead.
Violence is always the answer. Double kill.
Oh no!
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Mayhem.
Yeah, we're pretty much cleaning up. 28 to 13. There's a cash in. I'm gonna go tap a well.
Select the
Let's go Earthshaker. Yeah, why not? That's a dead.
a clean kill.
Yeah, no, you stay there.
Double kill.
It's getting to be a little stompy at this point. Oh, that's gonna be a dead Ming.
Slaughtered. Let the battle begin.
Let's take this.
What a pitiful opponent you were. The enemy has lost a fort.
Alright. Gonna go into here, turn this in. We do have enough to cash in. So Butcher's heading over to Diva. I'm gonna see if I can meet them.
Gorehowl will split you in half.
I took the long way around, unfortunately. Alright, let's cycle around. Chromie might be in trouble. Nope, she's fine.
A clean kill.
Exactly as it should be.
The horde advances. Untouchable! Claim your life.
Alright, I'm gonna go turn in. Although Murky looks like he's already got it.
The gems are mine.
Keep up the pressure.
My power shall aid you.
Alright, this is game potential at the rate we're going. I'm gonna be dead. Yeah, what caught me? I didn't see. Let's see what got me there. I was hit by a lot of stuff. It looks like I got hit by all the magic missiles there. That was unfortunate. A couple of spiders to boot. Yeah. A little bit. Oh, that's going to be a dead Arthas. Most likely. There it goes. Oh, he could get that. Just there you go. Get the Nazebo instead. He's going to die, but he got Nazebo. Okay. Not the best of Web Weaver phases.
The hour of the spider closes.
We do, however, still have all of our buildings, and they've yet to turn in. They have a lot. Who's got all of their... Li Ming has got all of their stuff.
Destroy their constructs. Reclaim the gems of my power.
And there she is. She is... I mean, we could... Butcher can probably solo that thing. Hey, gang.
The spiders
Yep.
shall aid your foes.
We let that happen. We should either tag the boss or let them look at the map.
The Spider Queen's wrath is upon you.
Nerf this.
There we go. Good job.
Your fort has been crushed. Know your place.
Where did... I thought we had team. I must have let them go.
They brought down your fort. They killed you. Kill them back.
Well, that's the comeback mechanic in play. So now they are about to be level 21.
The web weavers fall.
They're most likely... Kurumi's got to watch out. They're most likely going to take some wall damage over here. Good shot on her, at least, for that.
Shatter their constructs. Deliver the gems to my altar before your enemies.
Raynor is down over here for some reason.
Your keep has been destroyed. They're attacking your core.
Butcher is up. I am up at 6. Couple good hits from Chromie.
You will pay for that.
Butcher is going to get himself killed.
Enough of you, bud. This is always the answer. Double kill. Battle is Let the battle begin.
Can we get boss now?
That hero was weak. What a pitiful opponent you were. Honor and glory. Victory. Death. Enough of you. Battle is close.
That's a dangerous place, boy.
You're dead.
So Butcher, I saved Butcher. I thought he was going to get killed. He dived into basically all 4 of them. So he did live. I paid the price for it. Arthas looks like he's going to get away. Nazebo may get killed. Nope, he's going to get away. That's unfortunate. Couple good hits from Chromie. She's in some trouble though, and is just getting instantly recalled. Butcher is probably going to charge and get himself killed. Like that's... There you go. Rainer needs to move. Ugh, Rainer. Butcher's toast. Nope. Very good, very good, very good. That's not so great. Damn it.
Your core is under attack. Pay for making me retreat. Battle is close at hand. Gorehound will split you in half. You have lost a keep.
Nobody wants to kill him, so that's cool.
Violence is always the answer.
Exceptional work. Let's keep it up.
I claim your life.
Gonna come in here to defend the core. That is probably an unnecessary Hyperion, but alright.
Your core is under attack.
There you go, Butcher. Cleaning up shop, I like it.
Give me something to fight. Know your place. close at hand.
Yeah, they can get boss. We can dig around here. That's fine. There we go. And there's boss. Good job. Okay. So we're fine. We got some defense that we need to handle here.
I will destroy you. I thirst for battle. And stay down.
We're going to... I don't know if we're going to get that top keep or not.
Gorehowl will split you in half. Know your place. I lead from the front.
What I am going to do, though, is turn in, because I have enough for it.
Enough! The power is mine once
Is
more!
unrivaled.
Alright, we do... Butcher, you're going to get killed.
You shall weave a web of death upon your foes!
Lay down. Forward. Core is under attack. Hero slaughtered.
Wait. Wasn't that supposed to be the tough one?
Enough of you.
Where's... Everyone's dead. Yeah, I should have known that. Okay. That's going to be game.
Your core is under attack. The enemy has leveled your keep.
Oh, Jesus. Butcher's going to charge through. Ha! Yep. So I guess somehow that's not quite game. We do need to be careful. One more wipe and we're done. We get the keep. So that's fine. The top keep has got a sliver of health. This is 26 minutes already. I wish this game was over.
The clutch is ready to form again!
They don't have
Return
enough
the
to turn in
giant's
just
fleet.
yet, but they're getting there.
The enemy will be the next to die.
I think Chromie may get the top keep. She might get killed for it if they're there.
Their keep has been obliterated.
There we go.
You die. Enough of you.
Whatever's going on in there scares the shit out of me. Because without Butcher, there's a huge chunk of our damage. Oh, Rainer, where'd you go? Rainer, you were dead anyway. Not. Let's see what happens here. It's just Butcher left. He's gonna charge somebody, probably. Okay. Get him, get him, get him, get him, get him. Charge him, where are you? See, that's where I don't get. That's one where he could have gotten the kill. Maybe his charge was down, I'm not sure.
The core is under attack.
He's gonna ice block. Or just do that. Yeah, that'll do it too. That's game. We fucked that up pretty big.
Get up and fight! They're attacking your core!
Bailing out.
At least we fought with honor. MVP.
So let's talk about that. We got a few minutes. That game was thrown by us super hard. Super hard. Butcher, lots of deaths, lots of kills. I think Butcher had the right idea. He would charge in on people and engage pretty well. The problem was he engaged in the wrong spots. You know, it's one thing when you see an isolated target and you run in, you charge, and you drop your lamb and you go to town. The main problem here is Butcher kind of just ran in 3-on-1 multiple occasions against ranged people, no less. So even if you get the first kill, then you're stuck in range of 2 people and you can't do anything about it because you've blown all your loads, and that's kind of it. The new Butcher is really strong in Quickmatch, except he's still very vulnerable. Even when the quest is completed, he's still very vulnerable to CC. Let me look at his talents here. Block, fine. I mean, I'm not a fan of block. I mean, who are you blocking? Nazebo is not going to auto-attack you. Diva is going to shred that in 5 seconds. You know, Li Ming is going to auto-attack you. Maybe Artanis. Maybe. I'm not a fan of block. You know, hamstring upgrade probably better, but that's whatever. Cheap shot. You know, I don't. Okay, hamstring does more damage to targets who are affected by slow. What are you? The rest of it was fine. After 1 to 4, I'm not a huge fan of, but that's fine. That's fine. I'm not gonna crap him. He did well. He just picked poor engages where he would charge in 1-on-4, and you know, the problem is with that, if you once you get the kill, you blow your Butcher's brand, and then you're boned, and then that's what happened every single time. He got super aggressive, and it was super aggressive at the wrong points. Raynor was useless, largely. Murky did really well. Chromie did really well. She started hitting some shots. We just, you know, when Butcher would go down, we were in a lot of trouble. And that was tough. They had lots of hit points and whatnot. So, you know, it was tough. We just picked wrong times to engage in a lot of ways. That one time, I think we were chasing Li Ming and everyone just killed us. So that's stupid on us. I mean, there's no knocking it here. But yeah, I mean, look at that. Definitely through that. That is not a game that for pro play, as you can see, 55 to 41. It's like, what are you gonna do? It did showcase. I mean, I died 7 times. 7 times. It did showcase some of the vulnerabilities of Garrosh, where you know I go in and I miss my groundbreaker, and then suddenly there's 3 people on me, and it's like, well, shit, what do I do now? And then there really isn't anything you can do. I can use my ult. I can use Bloodthirst. I can maybe throw somebody away, but at that point, like you're boned. Like you really have no recourse. Even if I took Indomitable, alright, I'm unstoppable, but there's still 4 people next to me, 3 people next to me. So there really isn't a lot that I could do. So that was tough. It shows some of the weaknesses for Garrosh. Let's look at the talents. So these are the talents that I chose. I picked up Warbreaker, pull heroes in with Groundbreaker. Completed that. I did the first 5 pretty quick. It took me a little while to get to the 15th one, but I did finally get it. Knocks the cooldown down to 5 seconds, 3-second reduction. In for the kill. I took this just because of the sheer number of minions and crap that's going to be floating around on the map. I'm still happy with it. I'm okay with it. It gives me a lot of sustain. Maybe not in a Hero League game, you may not need this. I think in Quickmatch it's really strong because there are a lot of times so far that I've just been off by myself and my team has either been dead or just dicking around somewhere where they're not supposed to be, and I'm not going to get in the middle of that. 7 here, I did go into the fray. Didn't use it quite as much as I thought I might. I did save Butcher the one time. You know, there wasn't a whole lot. Everyone seemed to get themselves killed before I could get to them, so I couldn't really save anybody. Nor did I have the opportunity to really throw people into an engage there, which kind of put me in some trouble. Maybe if I could have followed Butcher in and thrown him away. I'm not sure. You know, there are probably better uses for Into the Fray than I was showcasing. Decimate, I'm fine with this. deals 50 damage to enemy heroes, slows them down. I'm okay with the AoE there with the attack. It's fine with me. I don't think I would have gotten a lot of value from the taunt. I don't know. Maybe could, you know, there's the possibility if Butcher charges in and I run in and taunt, they can't CC him away. So there's something to consider. Maybe I misplayed that there. So there you go. At 13, defensive measures. Pull a hero in, you get a shield. I did a really shit job of this. There were a lot of times where I was trying to run away long enough to pull somebody back and get the shield, and I would just miss. I was not very good with Groundbreaker. You really need to be on point with Groundbreaker to do well with Garrosh. I was not good with Groundbreaker this game. Earthshaker, Wrecking Ball stuns enemies, and then at 20, Deadly Calm. So there's that. There's Garrosh in a nutshell. He's difficult to play. He's definitely a main tank. Definitely a solo tank kind of player and kind of hero. He does take some time to get used to. You gotta get used to Groundbreaker, get on point with that. You need to get used to using the throw, both throws, in not only how to target people, but the way to target them. I do feel it's a little wonky. There were a couple of times where I tried to throw somebody and then, you know, they just would get killed or they would move away and I would blow my cooldown. So you gotta be careful about that. I'm not gonna crap on anyone's build. It's just what it was. We beat through it. You know, it's unfortunate. So that's Garrosh in a nutshell. Let me know what you think and how shitty I played. That's quite all right because you'll probably be correct. That is. Tell me what you think. I'm curious how do you think Garrosh is gonna fare out? I think he needs a team to play with him. I think once the really good players get good with him, he'll be very, very powerful. Very powerful. Also, we didn't have any heals here, which kind of hurt. Garrosh really kind of, you know, does well with some sustained healing. It's not like super burst healing, but sustained healing, because if you get, you know, slowly healed up over time, you get more value out of that with your armor. We had none of that here, of course, which is another reason why I did go in for the kill. I think if you've got a good healer, you don't need in for the kill. You don't need that. You can take other abilities. You know, he's going to be one of those guys in the hands of a really good player. He'll be just ridiculous in the impact. In the hands of a really bad player, you're going to run in and you're going to get killed a lot. Yeah, or, you know, up against unskilled players who don't know about him. You know, if you don't know that Garrosh is going to chuck you over the walls, then you're going to get yourself killed. Otherwise, you know, just keep your distance. You got to be careful, or know when to time it. You got to watch the cooldowns on him. So those are just my thoughts. I'm sorry that I subjected you to that stupid ass long ass game, but that's as it is. Anyway, thanks for watching as always. My name's Conman. Take it easy.